Hey guys, it's Chloe and today we're going to be talking all about Huda Beauty's brand new foundation. So I tested this foundation out for around a week. I don't really like doing first impressions on foundations because, you know, when you first apply them, you might love it, but things might change. So yeah, I tested this out for about a week. I took notes. When I was testing it out, I was going to work every day and my days were about 12 hours long that I need my makeup to look good for. I tend to sit with it on for about 16 hours, so I got plenty of wear out of this foundation. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Why are you looking at me?
Got a fucking pink and blue all over you.
Oh my Jesus. So I do a clip in this video, by the way, where I apply the foundation and I talk about some more there as well. But first of all, I do want to talk about the packaging. When I first got this, I was shocked. So this foundation is £32. By the way, I literally just got like a new phone. So if I'm looking over there, it's because the camera used to be over there. It's now over there. But yeah, so this is £32. And for it to be a plastic bottle, I was a bit like, what? But the pump's really nice, the bottle's really nice. I like the lid, I like this little fade right here, and I'm just like used to the plastic now. I do see how it benefits people in some ways. It just does come off as like a little cheap. This is the box right here. I got mine in the shade Milkshake, which is the lightest shade. It is 100B. So of course it is amazing that Huda came out with 30 shades. Here are the shades right here. I think that's all 30. This is on Cult Beauty, and I'm also going to pull up Huda's blog where she talks about what shades match what. So one thing that I do have to say here is a shade picture, just a picture of foundations. And can you see how the lighter shade looks really, really light on the picture? But like obviously this is me holding it in person and it is a lot darker than that. So, you know, that's always what pulls me in, is when a foundation looks really, really light online, but then you get it and, you know. So yeah, the first shade is Milkshake 100B, and what she compared this to is Fenty Beauty's Pro Filter 100 Neutral, but she said that this is less yellow and a little bit more peachy. I would say it's pretty yellow. I don't really see much peach in it at all. I think I'm reading that right. So yeah, that's why I chose this shade right here. I always go for the first shade in a line anyway, but I do have the Fenty Beauty foundation in that shade that I'm going to compare this to. I'm sorry about all of the crazy swatches on my arm, by the way, and my crazy eyeshadow. I mean, so no, I'm not sorry about the crazy eyeshadow, because girl, but yeah, I'm sorry about this. I'm filming about 20 videos today. So yeah, this right here is the Fenty Beauty foundation, and the shades are pretty similar. I'm going to try and find a blank space on myself to swatch them for you. This one, the formulas on these are, I'd say, completely different, but they kind of wear similar. To be honest, there's not much difference to them on camera, but this one is Fenty and this one is Huda Beauty's. And actually comparing them like this is dripping everywhere. Comparing them like this, I can actually see that this one by Fenty is a lot more yellow and this one has a little bit more of peach to it. You can just see the slightest change to them. So they're pretty much both light foundations. They just have different undertones. But I'm going to go ahead and attempt to blend these out side by side. My fingers are covered in swatches. And that is the difference. That is Fenty. That is Huda. And again, it's not really showing it on camera, but Huda's is a lot thicker than Fenty Beauty. Fenty Beauty is a lot more of a watery foundation, and Huda's is a lot thicker, and the coverage is a lot more intense. I also want to compare it to the YSL All Hours foundation. I lost the lid for this foundation. I'm really sad about it. But this is a foundation that doesn't really work out for me, but it's another foundation that is somewhat pale enough to match me and not be too crazy. So here is those two. I'll blend this one out a little bit. Here is those two. This one is YSL and this one is Huda Beauty. And as you can see, Huda Beauty matches me a lot better than this one. This one is darker. It's cooler, but it's a lot more darker. So as far as the shade of the foundation, I do think that it is really, really good. Whenever I first tried out Rihanna's Fenty Beauty foundation, I nearly cried and died because that shade matches me perfectly. But unfortunately, the foundation doesn't work out for me. But that shade literally matches my neck perfectly. This one, it's just a little bit off. I can't really put my finger on it as to why it's a little bit off. Before, you will see in the footage that I filmed of me applying it, whenever I held my arm up, it somewhat matched my arm. But I do think that this foundation oxidizes, which is what I'm going to read out in a minute. I did take notes all week, so I'm going to read out those notes. And I do mention it in there. And yeah, so as far as colour-wise, it's the best I can get. I've never really found a foundation that matches me. Rihanna was the first foundation I tried that did. I'm actually thinking about starting a series on my channel if it's pale enough. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, because I was gonna call it is it pale enough for a ghost, but I don't really know if that's gonna, I don't know if that really makes sense. But yeah, I'm thinking about starting a series on foundation, and I'm gonna see if I can find a foundation that wears beautifully but looks beautiful, you know. But yeah, so as far as shade wise goes, for me personally, if you are as fair as me, you know, a really white, pale white person, this shade is pretty decent.
Bitch, you're a ghost.
So in the notes that I took on the first day, I said that it applied amazingly, which I do still think is true after using it all week. I used 1.5 pumps. The thing is that Huda says that you use 1 pump because it's very highly concentrated in pigment, which I do agree with. It is extremely full coverage-ish. It's full coverage. But I use 1.5 pumps, and again, you will see when I do apply it that I think I actually used like 3 pumps today, to be honest. And I thought that it set down really nicely. It does say online that it is like fully matte, but I don't agree with that. I think it's more like skin-like, satiny-like. I don't agree that it's fully matte, but it does dry down really, really nicely. It looks so beautiful, and it sets really, really nicely with powder. And also, it is called the Fauxfilter foundation, which, you know, I forgot to say because I'm just like, he has heard of beauty. I'm sure you have all heard of this. But yeah, it's called the Fauxfilter foundation, and I do agree with it looking like a filter on your face. I really, really do. But applying it, perfect. It looked beautiful. It looked amazing. And I also forgot to mention that I have super, super oily skin, especially in my T-zone and around my nose. So in my notes, I wrote 2 hours in. It looks really nice and fresh. Wherever I'd itched my face or anything like that, I work in an office job. And if anybody else just sits at the desk all day, I literally pick up my face all day long, which is actually why, in one way, I think it's bad to review stuff, but then again, I think it's good because I do have foundations that can last through me just like being all over the place. But so that's like what I look for whenever I buy a new foundation. So yeah, what I said is that wherever I itched, I literally had a mark of like my nail, like an imprint of my nail, just like in my face. I don't know if that just caused one there. Like, it's just like you can scratch the foundation off. I don't know if it's because it's thick and pigmented or what, but it will just peel right off your face. And I use eye primer all over my nose area to really suck a foundation like onto it, and it still came off. And then around 5 hours, I said that it came off around my nose as always, but it looked really, really bad and terrible. And there was just huge red patches, like this much, just in one. But I did actually note down that although it's come off in some places, I was 5 hours in, and by that point I should be oily, and I wasn't that oily. Even though this foundation is infused with argan oil, I think, I'm not sure if it has other oils in it. I know there is oil in the foundation, but the foundation did actually do really well to hold my oils back, which is why I was so confused. There's literally like question marks in these notes because I was so confused as to why my oils hadn't really come through the foundation, but it had disrupted itself anyway. And I also said that it may have oxidized, which I still agree with now. I do think that it does oxidize as the day goes on, but I didn't notice that when I first applied it, or 2 hours in. I noticed that at 5 hours. So then at 7 hours, I wrote down that it had started wearing down around the centre of my face. That's where it goes first. My cheeks tend to stay perfect all day, and this foundation did look beautiful on my face, which is why my conclusion at the end of this video is pretty much going to be like, if you don't have oily skin, you'll love this, but if you do, then you won't. So yeah, it started wearing off in the centre of my face, all here, on my chin, my top lip, and my forehead. That had all started to go at 7 hours. And at 9 hours, I rate that it was still wearing down like even more, and that was quite oily. So this is where I was confused at, is that I wasn't getting crazy oily, even though the foundation does have oil in it. It's just that it was breaking up on my face. I don't know if I maybe just could have used it with a different primer. I tend to use the same primer constantly. I didn't really try it with anything else. I maybe might have to. But yeah, so I just noticed that it was breaking down a lot, but my oils weren't coming through that much until 9 hours, which for me is impressive. If a foundation can keep me looking somewhat matte for 9 hours with no touch-ups, by the way, I didn't touch up this foundation or blot it or anything. So if it can keep me looking matte for like matte-ish for 9 hours, then that's good enough for me normally. And then at 16 hours, I just literally wore down, got a bit cakey and oily. So yeah, by the time I hit 16 hours, I was just cakey, it had worn down everywhere, it was oily, it was a meds, it was time to come off, which I don't really recommend wearing foundation for 16 hours anyway. And then the next day I mixed it with my L'Oreal Matte Infallible foundation. I love that foundation, and it's a foundation that I do tend to mix with other foundations to make them stronger. And I literally had one note saying 8 hours, come off on nose and oily. So basically it didn't go great with that foundation either. And I have also tried mixing it with other foundations, for example my Dior Forever Skin foundation. I'm not obsessed with that foundation on its own. The shade range in that foundation is absolutely terrible. I can't get anywhere near light enough for me. So that's why I like to take foundations like the Huda Beauty one that matches me, mix it with that, and it makes everything a lot better. But I still don't feel as though it was good enough. Like, it's still wore down, and that foundation can bulletproof any foundation except for the Huda Beauty. So yeah, I was gonna do check-ins in this video, but actually about 20 minutes after I applied the foundation, it already started to come off around my lip and my nose, and I did show you that, so that will be in here somewhere. So yeah, I'm not gonna do a wear test or anything like that because I did wear it for a week and I have my full opinions on the foundation. I look so sassy then. I have my full opinions on the foundation. And we're now going to jump to a little bit of me applying it. I know that I've already like pretty much told you how I feel about this foundation, but I want to show you is me applying it. Like, I literally wanted to cover everything with this foundation because it has so many pros but just a few major cons for me, that it's more like it doesn't work for me but it may work for you, which is why I just want to cover absolutely everything for you. So yeah, so we're going to jump to me applying it and you're going to see how it applies. Okay, so I'm filming on my new iPhone right now and I don't know if I'm looking in the right place. I think I'm looking in the right place, even though I spend all my time looking at myself anyway. I never realised how much like a zombie I look until I'm looking at myself right now. This is horrific. I hope that you guys can't see it as like the quality that I'm seeing, because Jesus help me. So I've already primed. I've been going with this recently just because on a morning, I have to get ready like really quick because I value sleep. I keep looking over here because that's where the camera was on my old phone. It needs to look over here, right? Yeah, I value sleep, so I give myself about 20 minutes to get ready in the morning, and so I've been going in with this as moisturiser, so it's like a moisturiser and primer all in one. So yeah, I've been back on this. Then I've also used my MUA eye primer. I keep looking over there. This is what I always use. I just use this on my nose because if you have oily skin, this helps to just like keep it clung to your nose, you know. So hopefully I already showed you this in the intro, but here is the foundation, and I'm going to quickly show you just the way it applies and how I apply it. It does apply beautifully. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. As I said before, I have been testing this out for about a week and it does apply beautifully. So I'm just going to take it on one of these sponges from Superdrug. A while ago I was breaking out super bad. You will probably see it on my videos, to be honest. This happened just recently, just in the past few days. I didn't realise it looked that bad until I looked in this thing. But yeah, and I thought that my beauty blenders might have something to do with it, so I just go into these. So they're disposable and it's not like hoarding any germs. You don't have to wet it or anything like that. So I'm first going to go with one pump because that's what Huda recommends. If I can remember right, I think I use like a pump and a half because I do like coverage, but there is coverage to this foundation. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you how I apply it because I don't think it's right talking about foundation if you aren't seeing it be applied, you know. Now I've got to say, these little things do, look at that guys, these little things do suck up a good bit of product. It's literally just soaked up that pump right there, but there's so much pigment in this. Holy Jesus, he's about to watch me transform. Okay, so I have this much done and I'm going to just take a little bit more. As I said, this sponge does suck up a lot of product. The scent in this is strong. I know that everybody has been saying that. This scent is strong. It's like this, I don't know how it's looking to you guys, but in this camera it's looking so crazy. The scent in it, it's like, it's a scent that you know, like you don't know how you know it, but you know it. I don't know if it's what like our mums used to wear in the 90s or something like that. Like, it's just a perfume that you know. It is quite intense. It is quite intense, but it's not like a nasty perfume. So here is the foundation after just one layer, and the coverage is, in this camera I can still see my freckles, which if anybody has freckles, like, do you notice that you can see them a lot more on camera than in real life? It's crazy. But in like looking in like the mirror, I can see just a little bit more redness still. I might build this up a little bit. There's some places on this side of my face where I left it too long, trying to get their thumbnail, but it does blend in and beautifully. But I think I used about 1.5 to 2 pumps for like this much coverage so far, which, as I said, the sponge does soak up a lot, but I think that's about half a pump. I'm just gonna see if I can build this in some certain areas. Look at that, it's just like taken over again. So this is the foundation with a second layer. I know my lighting's a little bit crazy. I have the window like just there and the sun keeps going in and out, but I think it's showing off okay. So yeah, it lays really nicely, and it does add just a little bit more coverage. Like you can just see the pigment. It's crazy. So here I am with 2 layers. I literally look like a ghost. And I'm noticing on camera that it's not matching my neck 100%. It doesn't really in person. To be honest, I'd say that this might actually be a little bit more. I don't know if this is actually paler than me. I know it doesn't really have the right undertone for me. I don't really know what my undertone is, honestly, because I feel as though my face is more like neutral with maybe like a hint of yellow, but then it has a lot of redness, and then my neck's like pink and again redness. So I do find it hard for foundations to find to mix me, but I am gonna to match me. But yeah, I am quite impressed with the shade. It's like I can work with it. It's not orange, it's not pink, you know, it is like a really nice shade. Like it's pale enough for me, kind of. This is my arm. You see, it kind of matches my arm. Like by the time everything else is done on my face, I think it would pretty much match. So obviously I have not yet set it, and I think that she says that the finish is matte, but it definitely isn't. I can still feel it's a little bit tacky. It does somewhat look set, but it doesn't look like set like the way I like pound the powder on, you know. I'd say it's like a satin finish, more on the matte side, but satin. It's definitely not 100% matte. I don't know if you can see that it is like kind of glowing. I'd say it's skin like. It's skin like. If you just have like normal skin, you've just cleaned it, you've just moisturised it, everything's settled in, like that's how it would look. It does look like skin. But also one thing that I do have to say is that I can, now that I have 2 layers on, I don't think I've ever laid it up to 2 layers. I can feel it, like I can feel it just like all around here. It's like quite hard to like, not hard to move my eyebrows, like whenever I move my eyebrows I can feel it, and I can just feel it sitting on my face, which it's not like uncomfortable or anything, but it's definitely, once you have 2 layers of this on, it is definitely not lightweight. So I can't actually wear concealer when I wear this foundation because I still can't find a concealer light enough for me, never mind light enough to highlight me. With this, any concealer that I put on with this that I currently own is going to be way too dark, and it's just going to be like the opposite. But so I'm just going to go straight ahead and set it. And again, I'm really struggling for setting powders that like are like pale enough to like set, or like translucent powders. It's a struggle. So I have the Rimmel Stay Matte. I absolutely love this, but one thing I've got to say is this is called transparent. It's not transparent. This literally, if you watch my Fenty Beauty video, it's way too dark. It literally turned my foundation like yellow. Do you see how it changed the shade of that? So yeah, basically I have Makeup Revolution's Ghost Powder, so I'm going to mix these 2 together, and that's what I'm going to use to set my face. This is what I've been doing recently, and it has actually been working really, really well. Like, this powder, it's not the best, and on its own, it's too chalky, and it looks too much on your face. Major flashback, as you guys can imagine. But mixed in with my Rimmel Stay Matte, it just kind of butters it up, and yeah, it works. If you were a pale girl, I'd definitely recommend getting something like this, but I just wouldn't recommend using it on its own because the powder quality just isn't like that great. So I just take this on a packing brush like this, and I'm going to set everything. Do you see how just like instantly it changes the colour? Like it does darken it, but I love the Rimmel Stay Matte powder so much that I can't stay away from it. Yeah, it definitely has changed it a little bit, but that wouldn't matter to you if you have your right shade in this foundation. So this is the foundation all set, and I kind of look like a floating head right now. I don't really know what's going on. When I'm looking like at myself, I think it's a pretty decent match. I don't know if it's just the way the camera's picking it up or what, but honestly, it's a pretty decent match. Like, if you are pale, I do think that this foundation is going to work for you, obviously, with everything else that I'm going to say as well. But yeah, so I'm going to go away for a little bit because I am filming another video at the same time as this video. It's crazy. I've not been uploading much. I need to work at it. So yeah, I will be back soon with a full face to talk about it more. And I'm also going to test if it can cover a tattoo. I just quickly want to show you, my lighting might be a little different now because I think my lighting was off before, which is why things were looking so cray. But I don't know if you're going to be able to see. I'm going to get real close and personal, hold on. The foundation has come off right here and right here on my nose. It's literally been like 20 minutes. That's lash glue, by the way. So really, oh my goodness, it's making it worse. I'm going to try and fix this while I talk to you. I cannot believe it, I just did that. Basically, yeah, that is my issue with it. See, I must have knocked my face in some way, but it's just been normal where it's had. I literally got up, I put my eyebrows on, I kissed my boyfriend, which could have been the cause of it, maybe. But it's just come off, like, right here on the side of my nose and obviously there. But, like, as you can see now, I'm going over it with my little sponge. There, it healed it on my nose. It's not going to, it's just going to keep pulling it further and further off. So, yeah, that's my thing, is that it, like, it looks so beautiful whenever you put it on, but it just can't last. Like, it just can't cling to, like, my face. So, this is my issue. So, yeah, my lighting might have been a bit off on that. I have just got a new phone. I am struggling. But yeah, so that was the foundation being applied. And I don't know if you can be able to tell the difference between me applying it now and the way it looks now as in terms of it oxidizing. But I do feel as though it's oxidized a little bit. And I've had it on for about an hour and a half, maybe it's 2 hours. So now that you've seen me applying the foundation, I'm now going to apply it to my boyfriend's tattoo and see if it can cover it. Because there was a very massive point that Huda made. Somebody just came out my mouth. It was a very massive point that Huda made that it can cover a tattoo. So I'm going to test that out. Mate, look at my head. You look like a floating head.
You look like the moon.
Okay, so I'm going to test out this foundation and this tattoo and see if it covers. Are you ready for this? I don't know how you're going to get this off when I'm done, by the way. So I'm going to take one pump. Well, that was a big pump. And this is just the sponge that I was using earlier. Does that feel weird?
It's fucking cold.
Don't swear. Yeah, that's... Oh, that is actually not even covering. The fuck? Okay, I'm going to try and apply it with my finger because that's what Huda was doing on my Snapchat. Let me just give you a little bit of
Get it all nice and thick.
Can you feel it? Is it thick?
Oh, yes.
I can feel it on my face.
Oh, it's thick. Like your booty.
Look at the colour difference in us. Like, look at this. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Obviously, this isn't a shade. Just gotta say that. Because it just
Can
actually,
you tell?
It just looks like I'm painting you white.
Got some Dulux up in here.
This is crap. It actually doesn't cover. Like, I can see all of you.
So this is eggshell. I'm gonna paint my walls with this.
It doesn't cover at all.
Nasty.
Oh, get out. Thanks for your help. So obviously, as she's just saying, it doesn't cover up her tattoo at all. Did you think that was covering it all?
Does it look like it's covered?
Hell to the no!
So yeah.
Dry your eyes. Give me your hand, darling.
So that was a major fail on covering tattoos, but I mean, I don't think anybody has pigment on their face as strong as that tattoo to cover anyway. Like, it somewhat covers my freckles.
It ain't coming off.
And any scars that I have, but not, like, they don't cover it too much. But yeah, it doesn't. Did you say it's not coming off?
I'm just gonna wipe that shoulder.
Stop abusing my skin tone. But while I was on Cult Beauty searching for the price, did I even say the price is £32? I think, yeah, it's £32. I did scroll down to the reviews and they all pretty much say what, like, I have to say, which is why I'm not sure whether it's just me. I do think the amount of breaks down is just me, but I think that a lot of people are having issues with this product too. So the first girl gave it 3 stars and she said, sometimes I love this, sometimes I'm meh. The colour looked perfect, then it oxidised into a medium shade rather than light, which again, I do agree with that. She said it applies great, looks great in photography, and even at the end of the day, which has got me with hers. I think her issue with it is that it oxidizes by the sounds of it, because she said that it dries quick, she has to work fast with it. I think that she has more normal to dry skin, which is, I was going to say in this video, I was going to say if you have normal to dry skin, you will probably love this. But this girl doesn't really seem to tend to. And she also says she quite enjoys the smell, but she can feel the foundation on her face, which again I said right now I can feel it. Another person just said amazing colour match and coverage, love it. Another girl said that the fragrance in the foundation broke her out completely, so she obviously can't use the foundation anymore. The last review that I can see gave 2 stars, and it says, going to have to agree with some of the negative comments, I'm afraid. Looks amazing when it first applies, it literally covers everything. But she said that she's never had an oily T-zone before, and after having this on for 2 hours, it certainly looked that way. It separated around her nose and sat in her creases, which I can't really say that because I don't want to get creases underneath my eyes or smile lines. So I can't really think in that one. So just seeing how it settled in this girl's creases. This line like actually is heartbreaking. She just put, I had thought I'd found my holy grail, but sadly not, full stop. So yeah, that is other people's reviews on the foundation. I feel as though people are pretty much saying the same as me. As I said, it does break down quite a crazy amount on me, worse than pretty much any other foundation I've tried recently. But I do have super oily skin, and foundations break down on me anyway, but I just not like that. There was just, as I said, like nail marks and that in my face, and wherever I just slightly itched my face, it would just completely scrape away the foundation, which is crazy. She does have a primer that she also released in this, which you get a free sample of in the box. I was actually supposed to use this today when I put on the foundation, but I completely forgot. But this is called the Complexion Perfection Pre-Makeup Base, and yeah, it's a moisturising makeup base. So although this is claimed to be for all skin types, I do think that this foundation is aimed more towards normal to dry skin. I wouldn't really recommend anybody using it if they're oily. I wasn't getting crazy oily, but it was breaking down. But I have actually just noticed someone saying that. Can you see that I'm getting oily at the sounds of my nose? And it's been about 2 hours. So yeah, I just don't understand why the foundation is breaking up so badly on me personally. A few other people in the reviews that I've read did say the same thing, but I don't know. I think it's that's why I wanted to make this video and go quite into detail and read reviews, test it on tattoos, show you me applying it, because the foundation itself, when you first apply it, is so beautiful that it could be somebody's holy grail. And she does have 30 shades, which is a lot of people, like there is a lot of brands that have huge shade ranges now, but not typically for a first launch. So that was really amazing. You know, it is a really, really hyped up foundation, and it was interesting to me the way it was marketed towards all skin types. Even though there was argan oil in it and stuff like that, it was still like if you had oily skin then you could wear this foundation. So yeah, I just found that it was a really, really interesting product. I do think that the formula is really, really nice. I just think that something's gone a little bit wrong there to make it break up the way that it does. But if you don't have issues of your foundation breaking up, then I think that this foundation would be great for you. But I know that it's not just people with oily skin who have that issue. People with dry skin, normal skin, any skin can have the issue of the foundation breaking up. So if you do have that issue, I think that this foundation is really, really not going to be for you. I know I don't really want to say that because that's put out to like pretty much everybody, like this foundation isn't for you, but it really isn't. I'd say if you could get a sample, try it, because when you first apply it, you'll fall in love with it. And if it can stay like that all day for you, then I would definitely say it's worth it. It is a high-end foundation, it is £32, but that price isn't too ridiculous. And because you only have to use like 1 to 2 pumps, you will, like, the foundation will last you a lot longer than normal bottles. So that's what I mean by, I just wanted this video to be a little bit intense because there's so many pros and just mainly a few cons, but like breaking apart and oxidizing. But they're things that you really, really don't want in a foundation. So yeah, that is my final thoughts on the Huda Beauty foundation. Just to like, you know, thingy it all up. Doesn't cover tattoos like it's claimed to be. I personally have to use more than 1 pump. Like it's claimed to only need 1 pump. That didn't make sense. It oxidizes a little bit and it breaks apart. They're like my 4 things with it. Like, they're my 4 things that those 4 things it was claimed to do and it didn't do. But yeah, I will leave it up to you. Everybody's skin is different. Everybody's preferences are different. Some people may only need to wear their foundation for about 8 hours a day. unlike me where I need it for like 20 hours a day. So just, yeah, everything you've heard from me saying in this video and showing you in this video, just think, does any of those apply to you? And if it does, I really wouldn't recommend wasting your money. Yeah, that is everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that I helped you out in deciding whether you wanted to buy the Huda Beauty foundation or not, whether it's worth it for you, whether it's going to work for you. Definitely get a sample. If you can get a sample, get a sample. If you're not already, please subscribe to my channel and give this video... If you're not already, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.